Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. This is a roasted chicken. Roasted chicken may sound like a really scary concept, and I totally get it. I was on the same boat, but this is a really easy way to cook an entire chicken in the oven in a little over an hour, and it's going to be absolutely perfect and great for a meal prep. I've been really into meal prepping recently, so this has been a great go-to. The main ingredient that you're going to need is obviously a whole chicken. Now, what you want to make sure is that your chicken is not only an organic chicken, but it's also pasture-raised and air chilled if you're getting it in a package. If you can get a fresh chicken, if that's something that is available to you, that's obviously the best way to go. But make sure that you're not getting a chicken that's in that chlorine wash, especially if you're from the United States. Try to avoid that as best as possible. So I have my chicken that I have rinsed and patted dry. I'm gonna set this aside so I can work on the butter that's gonna go all over the chicken. For the actual mix that you're going to put on the inside and the outside of the chicken, the first thing you're going to need is some softened butter. Now I took some butter, unsalted. This is just 8 tablespoons of butter. And I threw it into a glass with some warm water for about 10-15 minutes, and you get really nice softened butter. Let's set this aside so we can work on prepping our herbs. So for the herbs, we are going to need some oregano, rosemary, and thyme. Now I have fresh, you guys already know I have fresh herbs in my garden. If you don't have that, get whatever is in the package. And honestly, the measurements are based on your preference, but I'm gonna show you what I like to do so you can play around with the recipe based on how you like your herbs. So first we're going to prep our thyme. Now the thyme I like to use, it's about like this much. I don't know how much that is by measurement, but it's probably like a teaspoon of the thyme leaves. So what you're going to do is you're going to take the thyme leaves and take them off of the stem. I just pull them right off. And again, all these herbs are optional. If you don't have them and you just wanna get some dried herbs, that is fine as well. You're gonna take the thyme leaves and just chop them up really, really fine. Then I'm gonna scoop that up and throw it into the bowl with the butter. Next, I'm gonna take some fresh oregano. I know fresh oregano is kind of hard to find. Again, this grows in my garden, but if you can't find fresh oregano, then just use dried oregano. You're going to want about 1.5 tablespoons. And I take off the leaves, and then we are just going to chop as fine as possible. The last thing you're going to need is some rosemary. I don't like to use too much rosemary. I just like to use just enough for the essence. So I just use 1 stick or half of a stick of the rosemary. It's really a tiny, tiny amount. So if you like more, you can use 1 to 2 sticks. It really just depends on how much you like rosemary. Next, I'm going to take about 4 cloves of garlic, and we're gonna do the same thing. We're going to mince the garlic. So I just smash. That makes it really easy to peel off the outside. If you haven't already subscribed to my channel, make sure to hit that subscribe button down below and also like this video. And now mince your garlic. I just do a rough chop until it gets really, really fine. I think fresh garlic is always better, but if you don't have fresh garlic or you don't really want to mess with the fresh garlic, then just get the one that's in the jar. That works as well. Now put your garlic in with the butter. Next, you're going to zest 1 whole lemon. So I'm gonna use this. If you have a specific lemon zester, that's fine as well. But I'm just going to zest the whole lemon directly into the bowl. And now what's really important when you're zesting a lemon, do not zest this white part, only zest the yellow part, because the white part makes it bitter. The yellow just gives it a nice lemon essence. A whole roasted chicken is also so versatile. It doesn't just have to be eaten with whatever vegetables you cook it with, or over rice or something like that. The way that I like to prepare it, which is my husband's favorite way, which is on a sandwich, I like to just take the chicken itself with the vegetables, throw it on a sandwich, like on some low carb bread or low carb tortilla, and it's really, really delicious as well. And of course, you could buy a whole roasted chicken from the store, and there's nothing wrong with that, but there's just something about cooking it yourself, knowing exactly what goes into it, and it actually goes such a long way. It's because you can make it to your own taste. Now that I've zested the whole lemon, we're ready to add our seasonings. So I'm gonna take some flaky salt. You could also just use regular fine sea salt. I'm gonna add about 1 teaspoon. We're also going to add some black pepper. I'm gonna do about half a teaspoon. And we're also going to add some mild paprika or smoked paprika. I like to do about half a teaspoon as well. I'm just gonna take a fork and I'm going to mash all of these ingredients together. And you guys already know all of my measurements will be down in the description below. I'm almost done mixing, but I wanna add some olive oil. I'm gonna add about 1.5 tablespoons of olive oil and mix that all together. Let's set this butter mixture aside. We're gonna let it marinate for a little bit while we prep the other vegetables. For our other vegetables, we're going to be using carrots and onions. Now, if you are not someone who's doing low carb or a keto-friendly diet, or you just like to have some potatoes or something, sweet potato and regular potatoes would go really great with this recipe as well. We're just gonna be doing the carrots and onions. So what I like to do is I like to take my peeler and we're gonna peel 3 large carrots. So I'm going to peel the outside. And of course, I rinsed these before I did this. Now, some people like to leave the skin on, and that is fine if you just want the flavor of the carrot to go into the dish. I like to actually eat the carrots, so I like to peel them and cut them for eating later. But just do it however you want. If you just want the flavor, leave the skin on and do a rough chop, that works fine as well. So I'm gonna cut off the top and the bottom, and then really cut it however you want. I'm gonna cut it into slices. I like to do kind of like a diagonal slice with pieces this big. You could do big ones again, like I said, if you just want the flavor to go into the chicken, but I like to eat them. So cut however you like. I'm gonna throw these carrots into the pan that I'm gonna be using for baking. And while I'm prepping these vegetables, I'm also preheating my oven to 400 degrees Fahrenheit. I'm also gonna prep 1 whole onion. So I cut it down the middle like this. And now again, with the onion, I like to eat roasted onion, so I'm gonna cut it into slices. If you don't wanna do that, you just want the flavor of the onion to go into the chicken, then just do 4 large quarters and throw them in with the vegetables. So I like to cut it like this into slices about this big, and I separate them and throw it in with the carrots. And I just like to take it apart like this after I cut it and throw it around with the carrots. I'm gonna season the vegetables a little bit. I'm gonna take some olive oil, drizzle that on top. And we're gonna put those same seasonings in just like we did with the butter mixture. So I'm gonna take some black pepper, paprika, and some salt. And we're just gonna give this a little toss and mix this all together. We're ready to put the butter mixture on our chicken. So I'm going to put on some gloves. If you don't wanna put on gloves, you don't have to do that. I just prefer to do this when I'm putting the butter mixture on the chicken. So I'm putting on my food safe gloves. And we're gonna take our chicken. And what you wanna do is put the chicken breast side up, so the meat side up. You will see that the spine is right here. Make sure that the breast side is up. And what you're going to do first is you're going to take the skin and separate it from the meat itself. So I'm gonna take my hand and gently separate the skin, as you can see right here. Separate it from the meat. Be careful not to rip the skin, as best as possible, of course. Now I'm gonna take a scoop of my butter mixture and I'm gonna put it inside, in between the skin and the meat. And you just wanna make sure that you're pushing all the way to the end. That's why it's easier to separate it first, because then you can actually make sure that you get all that delicious flavor, not only on the outside of the chicken, but also in between the skin and the meat. I'm gonna put it on the outside. And we're really just getting this mixture all over the chicken. I'm gonna take some of that mixture, also put it inside the chicken. All over. We wanna make sure that this chicken is fully covered in that delicious flavor. We're ready to put our chicken in with the vegetables. I'm gonna take my herbs. This is just some extra oregano, thyme, and rosemary. And we're going to tie this up with some kitchen twine. This is gonna go inside the chicken, just to give some extra flavor from the inside. We're gonna create a little pocket here and put our chicken in the center. Let's take our chicken and put it, again, same side up in with the vegetables. Just throw it right in the center. We're going to stuff the chicken. So I'm going to open the center right here. I'm gonna throw in, I just took some from the garlic bulb. I just cut it in half. I'm gonna throw that in. Throw in my bundle of seasonings and half of a lemon. It's just half of the lemon that we zested. You're going to take a long piece of kitchen twine and you're gonna first take the wings and kind of put them against the chicken like this. I'm gonna go around the front, get some of those wings, and we're gonna go under the chicken breast like this and kind of like fluff it up, so tighten it a little bit. Then I'm gonna go around the thighs, catch the legs like this, and we're going to tie with the legs. So I like to kind of do this, go around a couple times. And just tie it off. Just do 2 knots. And then I'm gonna take my scissors and cut off the excess. Our chicken is almost ready to go into the oven. I'm gonna take some extra salt and I'm gonna put it on top of the chicken. Sprinkle that on top. Extra black pepper, just a bit. And lastly, we're going to add some chicken broth. I like using this one by Kettle Fire because it's super clean ingredients. I'm not sponsored, but this is a really great brand of the chicken broth. And I'm just gonna use the entire 16 ounces, and I'm just going to pour it all over the vegetables. Our chicken is ready to go into the oven. Again, our oven is preheated to 400 degrees Fahrenheit. We're gonna bake this for about a total of an hour, maybe an hour, 20 minutes, and we're gonna baste every 20 minutes. So set your timer for 20 minutes. I'll see you in a moment. I've taken my chicken out of the oven and we're now going to baste it. If you have a baster, use that, but I'm just gonna be using a spoon, that's fine as well. And we're gonna baste every 20 minutes until it cooks for a total of 1 hour, 1 hour, 20 minutes. Just depends on how crispy or brown you like your chicken to be. You want it to reach an internal temperature of 165 degrees Fahrenheit. Again, I'll post all that in the description below. Going to baste the entire chicken. And again, I am cooking this uncovered. We can throw our chicken back in the oven. Again, baste every 20 minutes and I will see you guys at the end. Here we have our beautiful chicken. It's really important after it's done cooking to let it rest for 15 minutes. So for me, I like my chicken a little on the browner side. So I let it cook for a total of 1 hour and 20 minutes. You can do an hour if you like it a little bit less brown, but absolutely perfect. And after 15 minutes of resting, we are ready to cut it. And there you have it, easy roast chicken. So delicious. I cannot wait to do a taste test. We're gonna get a piece of the leg. I mean, the meat literally just falls right off of the bone. I cannot wait for you guys to try this recipe. Let me know what you think down in the comments below, and cheers. So flavorful and absolutely great for a meal prep or a simple dinner. I know roast chicken sounds like a really scary and complicated thing, but it absolutely doesn't have to be. Let me know what you guys think again down in the comments below. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe to my channel. Also, hit that notification bell to never miss a tasty upload. Till next time.